the last, he's chasing 30.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we pay tribute to a champion. A horse who did not just jump, but wrote history. A horse who captured hearts and turned dreams into reality. Scuderia 1918 Tobago Z. Since the end of June 2016, he formed an inseparable partnership with Daniel Deusser. Before that, he was lovingly brought up by his breeder, Jonas Bellemans, who knew from day one, this horse is special. And special he was. With 25 international victories, 10 Grand Prix wins and World Cup wins, and 20 podium finishes at meter 60 level, Tobago Z has carved his name indelibly into the history of our sport. We saw him shine in Aachen, shaking the world with his second place in the Rolex Grand Slam Grand Prix. We saw him triumph in Sertogenbosch, winning the Rolex Grand Slam Grand Prix. We saw him excel with a team silver medal at the European Championships in Rotterdam. Time and time again, Tobago Z gave us goosebumps. Tobago Z competed in 2 World Cup finals and continues to amaze us again and again. But this tribute is not only about his past, it is also about his future. Here at Stephex Stables, his crown jewels are ready to continue their story. His daughter, Trixie Z, is ridden by Emilie Conter, and Otello de Guldebom, under the saddle of Daniel Deusser himself, shines at the highest level. The magic of Tobago Z does not end, it multiplies. Every jump, every victory, his offspring carries his strength, his character, and his heart. Tobago Z, on behalf of everyone here, thank you very much for your fighting spirit. Thank you very much for the moments. Ladies and gentlemen, please give him a round of applause. Scuderia 1918 Tobago Z. We've got some very special people here at the Grand Place Arena tonight who will join us in this very special moment. We start with the breeder, and that is Jonas Bellemans. Jonas, please take a few steps forward. Then we can all see Jonas Bellemans is the man who bred Scuderia 1918 Tobago Z just a few kilometers away from here. He produced Scuderia 1918 Tobago Z. Stefan Coulter joins us with flowers and with a beautiful picture for the breeder, for Jonas Bellemans, as they both join this pocket rocket that is Scuderia 1918 Tobago Z. And then, ladies and gentlemen, I see tears welling up in the eyes of people who have traveled the world and the 7 seas with this mighty little stallion. Tears are filling their eyes, but can I please ask you for a round of applause as his 2 loyal caretakers come forward, his 2 pros, Charles Lynch and Marine Renaudin, please come forward. As mentioned, countless victories, endless podium places, and here triumphant last year in this very same competition. Scuderia 1918 Tobago Z won this class only 365 days ago. Beautiful moment. I hope that if our cameraman steps to the side and also the press has the chance to take a picture of this special moment. As of course, we also hand the microphone and a word to Stefan Coulter, who discovered this mighty stallion. Stefan, can you give us any idea about the legacy that Tobago Z leaves behind with you and here at Stephex Stables?
Well, he brought so much for our stable. After Connet d'Amour, he was really our #1 and fighting to bring the Grand Prix home. And when we bought him, honestly, we were thinking it's going to be a nice speed horse for 150. But speed, he was slow and cold. And Mr. Daniel Deusser didn't believe straight away in him, but made one of the best horses of the world from him. made him fast, and that also that he could jump anything in the world. Could win the biggest Grand Prix and feel like a big horse. He's small, has the biggest heart, and they make a couple that I hope one day we will find again for these two guys, Daniel and Tobago, to win all these Grand Prix. He brought so much joy for all of us at Stephex. We were proud of him. He made our name stronger, and we will love him for life.
Stefan, Jonas, Sean, Marina, I asked you to make your way back to that side of the arena so we can have a word with the man himself. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, Tobago himself cannot talk to us, but maybe Daniel can. Daniel, what would you like to say to Tobago?
Yeah, Fritz, basically I've mentioned everything. Like Stefan also mentioned before, there were some moments that I was doubting how far we would go, but especially now the last couple of days, preparing some videos and checking the results, you actually realize how special that horse was. And of course it is in my nature to always try to criticize myself and try to make it better, but in the last couple of months that he's already not there anymore in the sport, you realize how good he actually was and how perfect he actually was. And for me, he was not just a friend and a partner in all these years. He was also kind of a teacher that taught me a lot about the sport and helped me a lot in my career. And at the end, I can just thank him and especially all the people around us, like you mentioned, my grooms, the breeder, and especially two people, Stefan Conter and Emanuela and Kisi, who brought that horse together to secure him for the sport. And I'm incredibly happy that they trusted me on that journey, and big thank you to everybody.
Well, thank you to you, Daniel, and thank you to Scuderia 1918 Tobago Z. Ladies and gentlemen, you might be seated, you might be having dinner, you might be enjoying the great food, great wine, maybe a glass of champagne. If I could ask you one thing tonight, one thing only, it would be that you would be all upstanding as we give this horse his very final victory gallop. He deserves it, you deserve it, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. This is where an unbelievable career comes to an end. And we do not celebrate the end, we celebrated all the victories. Ladies and gentlemen, the last victory gallop for Tobago Z and Daniel Deusser.
Brussels Stephex Masters vanavond met geweldige